Exercise muna. Exercise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You follow me. Exercise muna. Taas ang kamay. Taas ang kamay. Baba. Ay, ang kilig-kilig. Okay. Okay na. Game na. Game na ang anak ko. Sige. Ang subject matter natin ngayon ay about the continents.
What are continents?
Yes. You answer it.
Continents are, the definition of continents isn't likely very defined, as the usual definition is large bodies of land surrounded by ocean. Well, if that definition is true, then how can you explain Europe and Asia? Those two continents are not surrounded by oceans. They're continents that are conjoined. So if you add some rules, different the rules, then you can say that those two continents are one. You can call it Eurasia. But if you go to the American continents with an S, since it's plural, there's a North and South America. But most people refer as America's continent as America. There's no two continents. But if we use the definition, then there's one continent, since it's only separated by a tiny canal by Panama. The Panama Canal is the only thing dividing it. So if North and South America is connected, then by just one canal, is separated by the one canal, then Africa is also connected to Eurasia by one channel of water. So that makes the extremely large continent of Afro-Eurasia, housing more than half of the population of Earth.
Is that it?
Yep.
Okay. How about, what is the biggest continent in the planet Earth?
I would say the continent of Asia, since its continent stretch a vast distance, as it is nearly in the Pacifics, and it also houses the largest amount of population, as Asia is referred to the largest continent, even though it's not technically continent.
Asia?
Yes, since it was
What
connected.
are those countries belong in Asians?
Singapore, Malaysia, Nepal, China, Taiwan, Mongolia, South Russia, Philippines, Taiwan, North and South Korea, Japan, Singapore, Saudi Arabia, and that's all I have right now.
You don't remember?
Since memorizing extremely hard without a script. Next question.
Okay. Okay. The next topic is about a glimpse of the history of the past. For example, about the First World War I. Can you talk about it?
World War I, the time where technology was at its peak at this time. There has been no major wars since for a large amount of time, as humans have been in peace, kind of. But World War I started when the Austrian Prime Minister, I think it was, when the Austrian prince went to parade around a city in an open-top car. Assassins were dispatched to that area, and the parade was pre-scheduled, meaning that everyone knew that would happen. So anyone who had to kill the person would have a really easy time, as they would know where to put. But luckily, the prime minister and his wife got to avoid all the assassins, as they hit the police car right next to it. But the prime minister didn't leave Austria and that town to be safe, and World War I never happened. No, they returned to the hospital to meet the injured soldiers. By the coincidence of the driver, they end up in a dead end with one of the assassins. and one of the hitmen shot shot the prime minister in the head. Austria-Hungary was no observingly angry about this and blamed Serbia because of it. And Serbia is protected by Russia, which Serbia is friends with Russia, which means Russia will protect Serbia. And Austria is friends with Germany, which Germany would help Austria beat Austria. And Russia is friends with France and with France and Britain. So there's tension building up. And when the war was announced, the people didn't actually panic. They said no, they didn't say that. They said they celebrated as in the prospect of new land, new rules. But it didn't last that long for forever, as the people soon realized that a war is a grueling place. Since most of them didn't know the history. But after all this time, the most major ones were Germany, Austria. There was the major countries involved with that war was Siberia, Austria-Hungary,
What else?
Germany, Russia, Britain, the UK, Nor, 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 no,
What's
that's
that?
France, Belgium.
Is that true?
Yes,
Hmm. Oh, how come Hitler's become the enemy of the First World War One?
actually, World War One didn't actually start with Hitler. That actually became one of his motivations to become a dictator of Germany. Since World War One, Hitler was extremely lucky. His luck ran out when he got knocked out by an artillery shell. But after and being sent to Germany to rest at the hospital, at, and when he was sent back to the front lines, he was blinded by by a U, by a British gas attack. But his story didn't. But after resting at the hospital for 1 month, Hitler soon realized that Germany heard about Germany's loss and surrendered to the Allies. Germany had to pay an extremely large amount of sum to that it didn't have. So Germany decided to print more money. And surprisingly, printing more money doesn't actually give a country more money. It just makes the value of that currency go lower. And
Why?
since the more common that currency is, the cheaper it will become. That's why a lot of things are rare. That's why they're expensive. But back to the topic.
Okay.
As the Germany kept printing more money, the one US dollar in 1919, one US dollar was worth 4.5 marks. And by at the end of that, $1 was into near million marks. And the banknotes became useless. Bread cost 200 million marks, and the people were starving, and the people were angry. But a weak government and a silly man with a mustache came along and said he could fix everything. The people loved him. That
By way of printing more monies?
Yes, if you print more money, it doesn't actually create more money. Just makes the value of that current money less worth. Since the more easily accessible that currency is, the more prices will increase.
Oh, how about Hitler's? Where did he go?
Hitler, at the end of World War II, didn't actually surrender. As the Allies flooded his bunker, his last things to do was commit suicide, as seeing no other way to get out of this situation, with the fear of facing his consequences and millions of Jews. He killed himself, shot by a head, but with his revolver.
Is that the information we got?
Yes, that's practically what they saw in his bunker.
Why is it a little bit mystic on Hitler's side?
Hitler wasn't up when Hitler was seeing the writing on the world, saying he's screwed. He can't really do anything as his mental and physical state began to decrease, as he's focusing all his effort into winning the war, a war he was never meant to win. But if he did win the war, he would have to beat France, make UK give up, and then take over Russia and win the war. And if if that actually happened, Hitler would start his plans for building the biggest city in the world, making Berlin a bigger place.
Bigger place to live?
No, a bigger place that it's more
Financially
And-
rich?
yes, it's more richer than the rest of than the rest of Germany.
That's it.
Yay.
Okay, that's it for now. Bye-bye.
It's hard question. Why is it so hard to make
no,
make
no.
English
We're just practicing
words?
it. My son, remember. Okay. Bye-bye. Good
Bye.
afternoon.
Please
See you
keep
soon.
subscribing.
That's good.
Okay.